Okay, I'm sure you're very tired, so I hope you like this conference. I think there are lots of thanks to say, and but before I say the thanks, okay, now we're okay. Before we move to the thanks, I want to say a few things about how this conference was run, because there are a number of things which were done differently than many other conferences. And I think it's important that we evaluate that. So I think next week we're going to send to all of you a questionnaire, but I also want to discuss it a little bit. I think in the banquet, Sylvia mentioned kind of equality, diversity, and inclusion, and I think it's very important if our field is to move forward. It's very important to be as much as we can to kind of embrace these issues. And I think part of the changes we made for this conference were instead targeted towards these issues. So I think there are four main things we did differently. So the first was that we have parallel sessions. So you were about 250 participants, and more than half of you talk in this conference. And having a parallel session gave the opportunity to have more people and more topics. It also had the opportunity to for you to give input of what you want to be in this conference, because this is the sessions we scheduled depending on the abstract submissions that we had from you. So this is the first one. The second one is we wanted this conference to be more inclusive and more part of the community. And this meant it's not just 5-6 people in Southampton that decide who is going to talk. So we had 20 conveners throughout Europe, and then all of them contributed to the selection of the talk. So it was us plus the 20 conveners, and I think it is important in the sense that we involved all as a community. It is a community conference. It's not just a conference of Southampton or of Nordita or whoever is going to do it next. Thirdly, we had the contributed talks. So half of the plenary talks were coming from contributions from people that submitted abstracts. I think it is fair to say that all of us have unconscious bias, and all of us like our friends or they like our own work. So if you leave it to us or to any single individual, they're going to try to schedule the people they know, the people that look more similar to them. When you have contributed talks, at least you have a chance to look all the abstracts and then decide who deserves to be in this. And again, to have a bigger set of people looking at those. And then again, the conveners were giving comments about all the submissions. And finally, for this conference to be inclusive, it also has to be affordable. Because if it is too expensive to go to a place, okay, the rich places, the places that have kind of the money, they're going to go, or the students and the postdocs that are from rich places, they're going to go to these places. But places from kind of that do not have so much funding, clearly they cannot use this opportunity. So you use almost all our direct budget to subsidize the conference. So we ask all the speakers if they can cover their own expenses, and we're very grateful that a great majority of the speakers did cover their own expenses. So we could use the funds we had for this conference. So we had both, and just to give you an idea of the expenses involved, each participant, the actual cost for us is about £300. And our original early bird registration fee was £50. And then the normal registration fee was £125. And then at the beginning, we thought we're going to aim at a conference of about 200 participants. But clearly, there was a lot of interest from the community. We decided to open it again with a little bit, kind of with a fee, which is roughly the amount of that it would cost us. So I think you need, in fact, all of these elements. In fact, you need the decisions to be more part of the community. You need to be affordable. And I hope the conference, I mean, in our community, there's too much, it's too much of, we want to invite people and we pay all the speakers and all their expenses. And we hope these are going to be the big names which they're going to make the participants wanting to go. But I think it's more important we build this community, that we use the resources that we have and we share them as much as we can. And again, as I said, we're going to send you a questionnaire with some questions to see what worked, what didn't work for you. And you also have the opportunity to bring any comments. And then we're going to collate these results and give them to the next Eurostrings organizing committee. Okay, so that's my comments. Before I move into the thanking part, are there any comments or questions from the audience about this general comments about conferences? Okay, so I think there is, there are a lot of things I want to thank. And I want to say that this was really an effort from the entire group, not just a few. I think Sylvia already, in a sense, put some names out from the organizing committee, but it was not just the organizing committee that did the work. Although I should say, I do want to thank especially some people from the organizing committee because they did the extra mile, and I want to start from that. And so I want to start by thanking in particular David, Dan, Itamar, and Felix. Then, as also Nikolai said, there were a lot of people that were running around with microphones, and also have all of these parallel sessions, and all of these parallel sessions had to have somebody there to help with the computers and all of that. And this involved really a lot of big parts from the entire group. So I want to thank Friedrich, Aida, Chandramuli, Ioannis, Couvet, and Andrian, who did the help with the parallel sessions. And I want to, in particular, thank Ioannis and Sandra that also helped a little bit earlier. So let's thank them as well. So this conference also would not be possible with the help of all the students. The students that went around with microphones and make sure that everything was going smoothly. And let me see, I shouldn't forget any names. So I want to thank Pietro, Javi, Pratyusha, Lisa, Radu, Orestes, Alex, James, Arvind, and Ernesto. We did most things in-house. Even our photographer is one of our students. So I want to thank Dan as well for his photography. Now, as I said, the conference had to be affordable, so we had to find money from somewhere, and there are no easy sources of money. So we got money for many, many different resources. So, of course, it was FP UK that gave us the budget for this year. And then we use funding from pretty much all UK resources. We repurposed some of STFC money, and then we also had many of our local people that have personal grants that very generously contributed to this conference. This includes Ines, Carlos, Felix, and David. So. We also have the contribution from the University of Birmingham through Marika. And also from LMS and the Royal Society. And I think I say now it's time to thank the person that contributed the most in running smoothly this conference. Is Tracy? Where is Tracy? Yeah, Tracy, please come down here. before I give you the flowers, I want to say I think everyone here knows that this was an extremely smooth conference. I organized many events over the last 20 years, and I think you have been the best. This would be impossible without you, literally. I mean, you sat in all our meetings. You always resolve, always quick to resolve any issues. And this is just a very little thing for thank you. Now, I think this was, at least from my perspective, this was a very nice and successful conference. I particularly enjoyed the fact that this was an interactive conference. There were questions in every talk, and people felt free to speak and argue with each other. So I think for any conference to be successful, you really need good speakers and good talks. And I think we have an amazing level, and I want to now thank all the speakers for this incredible contribution. And finally, a conference is never successful without audience and participants, people that are willing to ask the questions and come to the talks. I've been to conferences where people are in and out. They go maybe outside to collaborate. But in this conference, or you're here and you see mostly kind of the back of laptops. And I think in this conference, I have the impression that people engaged and came here. Again, we are in the last day out after 5 days, and it's still a full auditorium. So I also want to thank all of you for coming and participating so actively. So that's the end of the thanks. Have a safe return home, and I hope to see you in another conference.